Well, hello everyone. This is your host, Sunny Lamba, and we are back with another episode of Authentic Me. Today's guest is someone I have been fangirling on Instagram for a long time. And finally, I had the courage to reach out. I am talking to Jainee Gandhi today. Jainee is an acclaimed image consultant, style curator, and a sustainable style advocate. With more than 260,000 followers on Instagram, she's always creating fun content. And let me tell you, every time I'm going out, I am stalking her Instagram to look for ideas. Welcome to the podcast, Janie.
Thank you so much, Sunny. It's like I always, I'm not blushing. I just feel so awkward. Even when I bump people on the road, I'm like, really?
But you are such an inspiration and you're helping so much. I've always had, I'm not saying that I've always styled myself really well, but as this middle age and menopause hit, the body changes started to happen. And I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know how to dress myself anymore. So you are always helping me. And I just love, love, love your vibrant colors. I do want to talk about that actually in a bit, but I just love every single tip that you share. So thank you so, so, so much.
Thank you, Sunny.
My
Even before we
first,
begin,
yeah,
even
go
before
ahead.
we begin, there are two things I want to share. The first is I love the name of your podcast, Authentic Me. I think that should be like women over 30, this should be your slogan. You are authentic. We have to accept that about ourselves.
Yeah.
And number two, for your audience, whoever's going to watch this, I'm not normally dressed like this at home. I'm filming content for YouTube.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I don't have time to change and remove my lipstick. I'm just going to sit here.
But this is perfect. It goes with your image of that style content creator, right? And of course,
Thank
I'm
you.
going to use some clips of videos. So anyone who's listening, you'll get to see that on my Instagram as well. I want to jump right into this and start with what made you become a style advocate or a stylist?
I was 25. I'm 42 now. I was 25 when I used to work as a headhunter. A
Okay.
headhunter is someone who works with senior executives, CXO level hirings.
Yeah.
And while I was working them, I used to give advice mostly to men because that's what the data was
Hmm.
20 years back, 15 years back. And I would advise them, wear this tie for this interview, this is your third interview, wear casual, you're being invited to a five-star hotel for a brunch, dress like this. And that got me into thinking, the Gujarati in me, the business minded in me, that there has to be a business around this. Like, how can I just impart this knowledge? There has to be a business around it. So I started my first business without any knowledge in India as an image consultant, and it failed because most people thought that I want to become a fashion designer or a makeup artist. They couldn't understand that how can you just charge money to tell me what to wear? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to park this idea, but I know there is value in this. And then 2 years down the line, when I was expecting, I'm like, okay, you know what? A typical Gujarati family is going to expect me to drop my work and take care of my child. Why not just make them happy? At the same time, study to be an image consultant and start your business.
Yeah.
Like that was my game plan. That, you know what, if this fails, it fails. After my
Yeah.
child is 3 or 4 years old, I'll go back to my work because I have that. But the
Hmm.
first 3 or 4 years that I have, let me just put that.
Yeah.
And what I thought was fun was a lot of hard work and tears because this time around I was very sure that I cannot fail. So, to cut a long story short, I started by grooming executives. And then when I started working with women clients, I saw so much of me in them and them in me. I
Yeah.
always thought I want to do it as a corporate stylist because that's what
Mhm.
my whole angle was. But when I started working with women, I realized that, and I was a new first time mother, I was going through my own body image challenges.
Yeah.
For someone who's eaten crap throughout her life and not gained a kg, to put on 20 kgs during pregnancy. And then my mom, even today at 65, looks like my younger sister. So just imagine, so many years back, I thought I'm going to bounce back like her. Like, just look
Yeah.
at her. What's going to be, what's the issue? but
Yeah.
obviously you don't bounce back. Every body is different. And that was
Yeah.
a very hard sort of realization. But I'll say every single women client that I've worked with has inspired me to do more work, because at
Yeah.
the end of it, I always believe the reflection that we see ourselves in the mirror is what we think about ourselves. No amount of external accolades, no amount of
Yeah.
our education or anything is actually who we are. We are what we see. That's our basic truth.
Yeah. You know what you just said? I was exactly like you. I could eat a tub of ice cream and not gain a pound, always really skinny. Even after, actually, so everybody, as you said, is just, even after my baby, people be like, "Did you just deliver a baby?" I was like back in my pre pregnancy weight. But the moment 40 hit, okay, what's going on here? And then I was like, okay, I got to be careful of what I'm eating. And that's when that doubt starts creeping in. And as you said, we are what we see. And I would see in the mirror, and all I would see is the so called flaws. And I'm doing
Yeah.
air quotes for those who can't see me. And that's when my journey of loving my body started. So I want to talk about that. You mentioned body image. So I want to talk about that. You already told me about your journey with body image. And since you're already a stylist, I'm sure there's a lot of self love in there to put yourself on social media. But what role has self love played in accepting your body and loving it just the way it is?
It is a forever thing that you have to do with yourself. I will say very bluntly and honestly that just because I teach that and I truly believe that, that doesn't mean I don't have my days where I look at myself and I'm like, but I eat well, but I work out, but I do everything that is required of me to do. Like, I'm just going to chuck everything and eat that tub of ice cream.
Yeah.
That thing does creep in once in a while. So that's a reality for all of us. Okay.
Yeah.
Number two, like I said, every client teaches me. I had a rule in my image consulting, and even today, I don't work with anyone who's 21 years and below. I would rather work with someone in their 30s, not even in their 20s. Like, I try and avoid younger clients for a simple reason is I want your 20s to make mistakes. I want your 20s to not be perfect. I want your 20s to be exploring your style, because that's what's going to ground you in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s. I have experienced that. The youngest client that I've ever worked was a 14-year-old girl. I worked with the mother, and she said, "You know what? My daughter eats only one roti a day. My daughter has stopped going out to parties. She only wants to wear sleeveless, but it doesn't look good on her. She's a big girl. So many things. Can you work with her? Can you teach her styling?" And I said, "You know what? I am not. I don't work with younger clients." And then she said, "If not you, I'll hire someone else. But I like you, and that's why I'm coming to you." That's when I thought, okay, I have a choice to say no, but I also have a chance to make a difference in both their mindset,
Yeah.
in the mindset of the mother, the caregiver, and also in the mindset of a young body who's exploring world. That's the first realization I had, that so many of us go through things at such a nascent stage in our life, and that's what kicks in our 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
Few things that we take with us, we might feel that, it is something that they have told us while growing up, but it stays with us. I have incidences from my childhood where I feel I'm very traditionally, I'll say, good looking in a traditional sense.
Hmm.
I have that medium skin tone. I have good, luscious hair. Like, in a traditional sense, I know.
Yeah.
I remember when I was young, one of my grandmas told me that, "You know what, you don't have to study. You're pretty. You just get a guy who's working hard and you just have to take care of the house. Like, you're pretty, take care of that."
Yeah.
While I was 12, 13, I never realized what she said.
Yeah.
But as I got married pretty early at 22. And then, as God would have it, my husband was doing well at work. So it almost felt like the prophecy of what she said. Is it right? Am I limited to my body? Am I who I am because of my body? Am I nothing more than this?
Mhm.
So when I started image consulting, I started this hashtag called "I am more than my body," where I got women to write as young as 14-year-old, as old as 60-year-old, just write what do you think about your body, what gives you joy. And this
Mhm.
constant exercise that I do with women on a regular basis also helps me tap into myself. So
Yeah.
that's what my experience of self love is. That the more we talk about this, the more we talk about our flaws, and how authentic me. That's why I love that name. The more we talk about our flaws, the more others are going to realize I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Everyone feels that. It's okay to feel that. But what I take after that is something that's important.
Yeah.
Am I like giving you long winded answers for everything?
There is so much value in the whole story that you just shared. And I was like, literally, okay, I got to respond to this. I got to respond to this. I don't work with younger clients. And recently, similar story, a mom reached out to me and said, my 14-year-old has so much anxiety to going back to school. So can you please do at least one session with her? So I was a bit curious. I don't have a daughter, but I have nieces who are in that age range. I said, okay, sure. I'll do a complimentary session. Actually, I said, I'll do a complimentary session because I don't know if I want to take her as a client. I did the session, and this young girl did not even turn the camera on because she's so conscious of her body, her looks. I happened to actually recently see one of her pictures her mom posted on Facebook, and I was like, she's gorgeous. She is so gorgeous. But it's what you're saying, it's the mindset, and it's what we see in the mirror. It's not what the
Yeah,
reality, what's reflecting back, but what are we looking at? And that's the reason the name Flawthentic, when I came up with that, it was me in that phase where my body was changing and I had to start to learn to love it again. And it was tough. I was seeing the roles. And it was some days were just like, oh my gosh, I was always so skinny. I never worked out. And now here I am working out and lifting weights and strength training, and it's still not going away. And I lost my thoughts there, but that is the idea behind Flaw Authentic Me, that the things that you see as flaws are what make you you.
absolutely.
Otherwise, we'll all be just
Yeah,
clones
yep,
looking exactly like each other.
yep.
So thank you so much for that. And I see something that not my thought, but I've heard people say, and I used to believe this about 15 years ago, is when I saw style consultants, or not even style, when I saw influencers who are just talking about clothes and fashion, I used to believe, oh my God, that's vanity. Now, looking back, I was like, I was so wrong because there's so many deep layers underneath. You are teaching women to love themselves, love their body, and then show up in confidence. So I was just, as I said, before we hopped on, I was literally like scrolling on your Instagram, and I have seen all these reels before, but I had to refresh my mind. And there was one post about your journey with weight loss. And you mentioned that your weight is the same as it was in 2018 and it's the same today, but you look different. And I feel the same. My weight has increased because muscle weighs more than
Yeah.
fat. So my weight has increased, but I feel my body looks better. You styling yourself 6 years ago with the same weight but a different body to today, how does that change? Like, how does that feel to you?
I am excellent to excel still here. Every single outfit that I order is still excellent to excel. I'm not able to order a M or a L because for so many years, and when I say so for 10 years, after my son is 15, so the first 10 years of my pregnancy journey, I was a size 16, 18. So when
Yeah.
I dropped to size 12, 14, and although my weight is the same, but I've dropped that size, in my
Yeah.
head, I'm still 16, 18.
Yeah.
Every freaking pant that I order, every freaking dress, everything that I order L, XL to excel. Like I just can't go to that
Yeah.
mindset. That's the first one.
Mhm.
I want to say such things because people often assume that when I talk such things that I'm all sorted person. I want to really come here and say that I'm not that sorted person. I have my own flaws, but what I take from that is something that I know with the knowledge that I have because of image consulting and when I talk to people.
Yeah.
In terms of styling, I have always loved dressing up. I never knew. I used to joke with my sister now, even when I was young, 12 years old, 13 years old, I still remember my fights with my mom because I wanted a particular ghagra choli or I wanted a particular dress because I've always loved clothes. I've
Yeah.
always loved the feeling of clothes that I had on me. And initially, I felt that's vanity. How can I talk about clothes so much when I'm an educated woman, how that whole thing is there. This
Yeah.
whole thing of all the words associated are with women. Bimbo is a word for a woman, assumingly that she has nothing except for beauty and fashion. Or a trophy wife is only for a woman whose husband is successful and she's pretty looking. But all these slangs are only associated with women, and that's what I
Yeah.
felt. I felt that how can I just love clothes? Like, how is that possible? But that's the true thing of my life.
Yeah.
If I could, I would just want to wear new clothes every day, go out for lunches, work, and come back. Like that's just something that I like.
Yeah.
So for me, styling was never a problem per se because I loved dressing up. I
Mm.
did not care what my body is. I know the moment I dress up and the moment I see my reflection, it gives me joy. I think that's the first thing that I also train my clients because a lot of us from a young age are groomed that, what, looking good is only for people who are not intelligent. Because we have never been groomed or taught, specifically in South Asian households, we are never taught that
Yeah.
both can coexist. It's not it's not that you're either a geek or you're like a jock.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to men,
Hmm.
they have this clear definition, and I feel, why can't you be both?
Yeah.
I could solve a physics formula and still do kick-ass basketball. Why can't I do both? but
Absolutely.
but that was the whole differentiation. So when I work with my clients as well, I feel I am able to give that confidence is because I've always had that confidence that nothing body has nothing to do with how you style yourself. I truly believe that
Yeah.
we are so limiting in our body, and we discount the fact that there is something called as personal style. And the day you discover that, the day you discover what truly gives you joy when you're dressing up, you'll forget that this body is also important because bodies change. It's not
Yeah.
in my hand. It could be anything. It could be my hormones. It could be, I've had a tough year. I've had a sedentary lifestyle. So many things impact our body. How can I put so much onus on something where my control could be very little? So I feel that it has never sort of impacted me, irrespective of my size.
Hashtag I am more than my body. Love that
Yes.
hashtag. Oh gosh, there's so many thoughts that are coming up. But something that I want to ask, and again, another reel, you were one of the first people who I started following as a mid-size body. I didn't even know the term mid-size at that time. And after you, of course, I saw a few others. And that's when I said, okay, I am short and curvy. I think you just posted that today
Yeah,
or yesterday, your
yesterday.
latest reel for short and curvy and how to dress up. And that's how think that, okay, I'm short and curvy. How do I dress up? And one thing that I changed, what I have to go back. So before that, I was following all these people, amazing content creators, amazing, but they were taller or they were skinny in the, let's just using that term in the sense of the way it is used in the world today. But that was not my body type. And it made me feel bad about my body. They would have these amazing clothes, and I would take the link and order that exact thing. And then I would wear it. And I'm like, doesn't look good on me. And that makes you feel bad about your body.
Yep.
So I actually want to say once again, thank you, because you were one of the first that I said, okay, her body looks like my body. Now let's see how I want to style. So, for someone who is struggling with dressing for their body shape, what's one tip that you would give them? Let's say they're a mid sized person.
I'll say that start buying clothes that feel that it's you and not because it's in trend. A trend might dictate that small amount of time,
Yeah.
but that trend might not be you. So, irrespective of your size, I will say start buying clothes that you want to wear again. Like
Yeah.
you get that and you're like, okay, I want to wear this again and again and again. And that's something that everyone needs to figure out their own style and clothes that give them joy.
Yeah. What makes you feel good in it?
Yeah.
Right. Talking about trends, I have to talk about capsule wardrobes. My niece, who's 19, she's a fashionista and she knows how to dress her own body. She's also short like me, but this petite little girl, she's only 20. and she knows how to dress her body, but she's all about capsule wardrobe. And she keeps saying, Auntie, you got to get, Chachi, you have to get capsule wardrobe. You have to have these pieces. And I said, but I love color. I love my oranges. I love my greens, my reds, my dark blues, And then I saw your reel about capsule wardrobe. So, can we talk about that, especially coming from a culture that's so vibrant and so full of color?
I left India 8.5 years back. I'm a true and true Bombay girl at heart. And while I was in Mumbai, it never occurred to me that life could only be black, white, and gray because, all around you, you see people in colors. Like it would be like, oh, I'm going for dinner, I'm going to wear black. Black was never a dominating color in my wardrobe. It was like, I need one black. And I'll say most my friends in India also struggle with that concept of just black, white, and gray. Then when I moved to Singapore, I met a lot of people. Singapore is like this hub of melting pot of so many cultures.
Yeah.
And then I would see Brazilian women, they're like dressed up in their things, and Japanese women in their things. And I realized why am I shying away from colors? Like I love wearing colors. I've never been a black, white, gray person. So why am I shying away from my colors? And when you're, at least in my case, when I'm out of India, is when I want to preserve my things very
Yeah.
hardcore.
Yeah.
And
Me
clothes
too.
have an ability to do that.
Hmm.
So anyone who loves capsule wardrobe takes away the stress of dressing up from
Yeah.
you. Hats off to you. But if you're following capsule wardrobe just because people are telling you that it makes your life easy, let me tell you, it doesn't. Capsule wardrobe also requires its own sense of magic to make you look different every day in those set of 10, 12, 15 pieces. Whereas the color pattern, the color tone, the tonality, everything remains the same. So I am not made for capsule wardrobe. I love my colors. I love my desiness. I love to do that. I love wearing my things. So capsule wardrobe, I'll say that it's very restrictive. It's not for me. And if you love your colors, don't punish yourself.
Yeah. And don't do it, as you said before, because it's just a trend right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I get the sustainability part of it. I get that. But if you love color and color makes you happy, then wear the color.
I'll also say that not all capsule wardrobes are sustainable.
Hmm.
Capsule wardrobes are done with the mindset of I have 15 pieces, I'll create 40 looks. Okay,
Yeah.
40 days done, then what?
Then
You're
what?
so tired of wearing those 15 pieces that now you want to create a whole new thing. So it's not that all capsule wardrobes are sustainable. You really, really need that classic basic mindset that
Yeah.
I am only going to wear this.
Yeah.
Then it's okay, but not all capsule wardrobes are sustainable.
Hmm. Talking about sustainability, I know that you talk a lot about sustainability. You're a sustainable style advocate with apps like certain apps that are out there, and you can order cheap stuff for $5, $7, something that doesn't sit right with me. And there's no judgment involved in this statement. It just doesn't sit right with me, as if because I feel it's not good for my planet. What advice do you have for someone to maybe incorporate a little bit more sustainable style in their life?
People take sustainability as this thing that I have to spend more money to get that. People think that, oh, I have to now buy from Anthropology or Free People, and it's like $300 for a dress, or I have to go to Farm Rio and spend $400 for a dress or $1,000 for a jacket.
Yeah.
Sustainability means, in its truest sense, do you see yourself wearing this piece at least 30 times?
Hmm.
30 looks like a small number. Ki, why can't I wear this 30 times? Like, so what? But
Yeah.
I'll tell you the amount of clothes and things that we have. If you do an annual audit, you might be wearing a piece 5 or 6 times top.
So true.
But
Yeah.
even if you have like 10 denims, you might be wearing it 10 times top.
Yeah.
Sustainability in its truest sense for me is that, will you willingly wear this piece again? Will this piece fall apart? Every stage in life demands a different thing from you. While I was in my 20s, I was very money conscious. I was okay to go to a Bandra bandstand. It's like a roadside thing in Mumbai, to go and shop because I was money conscious. I wanted something where I would touch the fabric and say, okay, this will last me 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
In my 40s, I feel, do I want to do that? When I have this garment that I'm currently wearing, I've
Yeah.
put so much thought into buying that. The energy at 12 o'clock, I'm scrolling through stuff, what I want, the color that I like. Do I want to wear this only 2 times and then discard it and take that stress of buying a piece all over again?
Yeah.
So I'll say that don't look at sustainability from a singular angle that I have to only buy from sustainable brands. I'll say you want to buy from Zara, no judgment, go ahead. You want to buy from H&M, go ahead. But promise me that you will buy a quality that you will wear it for at least 30 times.
Yeah.
That's it. If you think that you're buying it only for a season, Christmas and New Year is coming, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to buy that one sequin dress for one 31st night party, I'll say don't buy. Whether you're buying from uh, an absolutely fast fashion brand or whether you're buying from an absolutely sustainable brand, I would still say don't buy because if it's that one night, no.
Yeah.
Find a creative way to dress up for a party, but don't let it sit in your wardrobe for you to wear it once a night. And then again, New Year, next year, you want to buy a new thing. So, sustainability for
Yeah.
everyone should be, are your clothes telling a story about you? Will you be able to wear it for a longer period of time? And if that $5 dress is not going to do that for you, then just imagine it's not just about the $5 that you are spending, it's about your time investment, your shipping investment. It's about everything that
Yeah.
you will keep on doing every week, which
Yeah.
doesn't benefit you. Even if you're not like planet conscious, it's still
Hmm.
not benefiting you.
Absolutely. And then you have a wardrobe full of clothes, and when you walk in and you were
Yeah.
like, okay, what do I wear? I've had those days. It reminds me of a dress I bought for my husband's office Christmas party, a satin dress, blue with a cut up to the thigh, a really cute dress. So I wore it that time. Then I wore it next year at the cruise for the formal night. And then what I did, I was like, okay, where am I wearing this? I literally wore a white sweater on top, and it looks like, because it's a dress, but I wore it with a white sweater, put a belt on, and now
It
it
looks
looks
like
like
a
a
skirt.
skirt and a sweater. And I'm like, I'm getting good at this. And I was so
Sorry.
proud of myself. Okay. At the end, usually near the end, I do a rapid fire round.
Okay.
Didn't tell you about that before, but are you ready?
Okay. That's like, I feel like I'm in Karan Johar's
I
Coffee with
know, right?
Karan, if you
Gonna
know the
be
reference.
fun.
Okay, let's do it. I don't know how rapid I'll be, but let's do it.
Let's do it. I know we talked about color, and I know you love your color, but here's my first question. If you could wear only one color for the rest of your life, what color would that be?
Red,
Yeah, and I think
for sure.
I have seen you. It really looks
Yeah.
good on you. You pull it up, pull it off so nicely.
But a tidbit here. I love red, but I only have one red dress because
Oh,
I'm so
wow.
conscious when I buy dress that I love red so much. What if my full wardrobe is red? And for that reason, I don't buy red. And I was like, what sort of a favorite color is this that I only have one dress?
That's me with orange. Okay, you read only serial killer and psychological thrillers. So give us a book. Give us a favorite book.
The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine.
Okay, I gotta write that
I
one.
mean, that book is something else. Like there are tons of amazing books, but because I read the sequel to this one recently,
Yeah,
and Liv Constantine are two sisters living in two separate states in US, and they write one book together. That is more commendable to write a thriller in two separate places and still
yeah.
make it a book.
Wow, I have to read that one. There was a phase in my life when I
Even
was.
behind her eyes, there's a
I've
Netflix
seen the
has,
show.
yeah, but the book is much better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know there was a book. There was a phase in my life when I would read only psychological thrillers and serial killers. Not anymore. I do enjoy them once in a while, so I'm gonna read that one. So do you? I'm I'm supposed to do rapid fire, but my
I know,
mind is
but we
somewhere
keep on
else.
chatting. I'm telling you, I don't know if I'm made for rapid fire. I'm an
Even
explanation
me,
top up girl.
even me. Do you then? And I'm getting distracted here, but do you then also watch a lot of serial killer and psychological thriller shows?
No.
Okay, because I
My
love
watching
watching
is
them.
only content. Mostly I'm only watching content or
Okay.
creating content. So
Okay. I ask because I watch them, and my husband says that you are either a spiritual meditator or a serial killer. In one day, you go from there to there. Okay, what's one trend that you would bring back from the past?
Ooh, interesting. I think the Zenith Aman trend of like that fitted dresses, but in
Mm,
Indian prints. I know Anita Dongre and Sabyasachi are bringing that back, but I would love to do that. Like those Western fitted silhouettes that Zenith Aman, would like a
yeah,
bombshell she would wear in Bollywood movies. But I
yeah.
would want to do that in a bandhani or an ikkat, so in Indian in Indian print, but those kind of pieces.
Oh, I would buy that. That would look so nice. Talking about Zinat Aman, if you could style any celebrity, who would it be and why?
I absolutely love Shushmita Sen from an Indian sense, and I love Meryl Streep. I only want to style them, one, because I want to meet them. Like I try every single my sixth degree of difference, and I try to meet Shushmita Sen, the two people, because I feel that they stand up to what they say. So
Yeah.
styling them should be easy because they'll own whatever they wear.
Yeah, Sushmita is definitely my soul sister. She doesn't know that, but yeah, I just love her and and
Yeah,
and as you're right, she stands up for what she shows through her actions, what she says.
exactly. Yeah.
What's your favorite fashion piece? I feel like all my questions are about fashion. What's
I'm
your
okay.
favorite fashion piece that you cannot live without?
Wow. Like currently or just anything? I'll
In general, maybe, or currently,
my
whatever.
okay, I think my jewelry, 100%.
Mm,
I don't have a favorite because I've collected my jewelry over a period of years, but
yeah,
my fashion jewelry, I'll say it's a work of art, most of the
yeah,
people.
yeah. And for those of you who cannot see her, she has this beautiful statement necklace on right now. And I love my beautiful, those Indian big stones and those statement. I
Yeah.
have lots of those and I love those. Okay, my last question. And this is a question I ask everyone. It's one of my favorites. As you already said, the name of the show is Flawthentic Me. Fill in the blanks. I am flawthentic because.
I is I'm authentic because I'm not perfect. Is it right? I don't want to be perfect.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, I struggle with that I don't want to be perfect, but that's authentic me.
Yeah. And that's an effort you put in that no, I am not striving for that
Yeah.
perfection because
Yeah.
it's a myth. I just love that. At the end, probably most of my listeners can find you easily, but if someone wants a style consultancy or just tips from you or want to follow you, where can they find you?
Um, in my fun era, I always say, just Google me because one, my name is very unique. So if you write Jainee Gandhi, the Google's only going to get me out there, so you can find me. But I do have a website where you can contact me, or I'm always available on Instagram DMs. So everything's Jainee Gandhi. There is nothing else. Like you
Oh,
write Jainee Gandhi, and you'll find all of my handles from YouTube to TikTok to Instagram to everything.
to everything. And that is
Yeah.
Jainee. So please go look her up. She is going to really just the smile, like your smile, even now that I'm talking to you, before coming on here, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that smile in person. Well, this is
Thank
kind of in
you.
person. At the end, 30 seconds, words of wisdom.
We all have our days that we don't feel good, and we should accept those days. And I'm only talking purely from a body perspective because I talk about style. Your style is not limited to who you are. Your style is not limited to your body. Your style is innately you. And if you find that, it's half the battle won.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I feel like I'm getting there where I'm found my style and I know how to dress my body. And thanks to you and a lot of other content creators who put themselves out there, it's tough. I mean, I create content as well. And so I know that it is tough to put yourself out there and open yourself up for people's judgments and people to comment on. So thank you so much for doing that every day. And thank you for this. It was such a fun conversation and
Thank you,
so much
Sunny.
value. Thank you so,
Thank you.
so, so much. I will share all the contact information for Jenny in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode or if you liked anything she said, go follow her on Instagram. If you have any comments for me, you know where to find me at Sunny underscore Lamba. And on that note, this is Sunny and Janie signing off. Until next time, keep loving yourselves and stay authentic.